inspiring you to set the marketplace ablaze in partnership with an awesome and limitless God. This is the Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur Podcast, and this isn't business as usual. Here's your host and Chief Fire Igniter, Shay Bynes.
Welcome back to the Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur Podcast. This is your host, Shay Bynes, and our goal here is to inspire you to operate your business completely yielded and in partnership with our awesome and limitless God. I so enjoy featuring guests on this podcast who are fans of the podcast or students of Firestarter School or part of our Igniters mentoring program, because it is so much fun to hear how the Kingdom-Driven Entrepreneur movement is having an impact in the lives and businesses of entrepreneurs around the globe. In fact, if you would like to be a featured guest on the podcast, head over to kingdomdrivenentrepreneur.com/podcast and click on the link where it invites you to share your story with us. But let's get started with today's conversation. It is with business mentor and speaker, Eboni Truss. We chat about her journey of embracing and shifting to a lifestyle of working by the infinite power of God's grace in her business, rather than relying on her own grind, working primarily in her own strength. Now, Eboni is a ball of energy, so get ready to smile, laugh, and just be inspired to embrace the next level of your own shift and working by God's absolutely amazing grace. So listen in and enjoy. Eboni Truss, how are you, sister?
Oh, I am amazing. Yes. How are you, Shay?
I'm doing great. And it's your birthday today.
It's my birthday. Woo, woo. Yes. Thank you, guys.
And you get to celebrate your birthday with me.
Yes. 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 Loving it too.
Oh,
it's
this
such
is
an
fun.
honor to share my birthday with you. Absolutely.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you have shared your day with me, and I'm looking forward to our chat. First of all, so I get emails from listeners of the podcast relatively frequently, but your email to me was like, wow. I mean, it could not be ignored. It demanded an answer.
Yes.
And so I'm so glad to have you here because, first of all, I'm honored to be a part of your journey, which we're going to explore in this podcast. So to be a part of mentoring you through the shifts that God's taking you through in your business. And so I want to start by having you share what you were up to in business prior to the shift that you told me about before I hit record, talking about where things were in business and what began to really shift things in your mind and your heart.
Okay, got you. Okay, so, oh my gosh. So I started my coaching and speaking business back in 2013, and I actually taught women, coaches, authors, speakers, how to speak from the stage and get clients from it. Doing very, very well in that business, traveled all over, like had clients literally like across the nation, loved it. But at the same time, as a believer, that's like a part of my life. So like there's no hiding that. And if you are familiar at all out there with the coaching and speaking industry, or just in the marketplace right now, like there's all this credit given to the universe and the angels and, you know, the readings and da-da-da. And because I had coaches who were all a part of this system, I would find myself in places where I like folks like didn't get it.
Right.
Universe, and I'm saying Jesus, universe, know the Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I will not concede. I don't care what you say. I don't care. And so a couple of years ago in December, I was at home and I was watching something, and they went into this rant about the universe. And I went into a whole other rant in my little home office, like, you're lying. I was so angry. Like,
it was a righteous anger.
Yes. I was like, James, like, Peter, I want to cut folks' ear off. I just wanted to like, just be quiet. Right.
Right.
No more. And I was like, God, no more. And so I didn't know who to talk to. So I inboxed one of my clients who I know is a believer. And she was like, well, you know, like maybe God is like giving you a burden for. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I need to punch a wall because the Detroit is rising up and I don't know what to do about it right now. So
Because you're like, these are the folks who are training and equipping us for business, but we're not on the same page at all.
Not at all. And part of the real dilemma for me was that, like, what they talk about, and it still like gets me. It has just enough truth to where believers are falling into it like it's okay. It's just enough spiritual that it sound okay, okay. So, but punch folks like no. In that moment, I was like, God, I don't know what I can do about it, but I'm willing to do something because we can't lose people because of this.
Right.
Everybody's not like me. And they may be in that same situation and just kind of say, well, okay, or like say not like just silent, so like,
right.
God,
like, who else am I going to learn from? I mean, they're teaching me something that's helping me with my business. I'll just filter through all the other stuff.
Yes. I'll eat the fish and spit out the bones. I heard that so many times. And I'm like, but some of them bones are getting caught.
Come on.
I promise you they are.
That's real, Eboni.
So, and I knew from my own life as I move forward. So in January, next month, next month, my business, I just kind of just started drying up.
And this is 2017?
18.
This is okay.
No, 17. You're right. 17.
Okay. So this is January 2017 and now business is starting to dry up.
Yes. Nothing was changing. I was doing everything that I had been doing. Wasn't nothing different. Saying the same things. The L was still sexy. I was still saying Eboni L, all that. Nothing was different at all. But it just kind of just started drying. And I'm saying, God, am I in sin? Like, what? Did I do something? What did I hold on. I'm checking like all my boxes, right? I'm just like, because I want to make sure. And so over the course of that time, God began to show me like the bones that had gotten stuck.
That's good.
I had become, number one, very expert-led. I can remember God had given me money and impact, right? And I didn't know what it was. Like, I just knew that he had said those words and I had to pray it out. Well, right on the heels of that, I started coaching with somebody who was like, well, you ought to like go in this direction. Right. And so I'm like, okay, well, makes sense. I'll make some money. Okay, cool. Very expert led. So literally I spent a whole year moving away from the message that God had given me, following the person who knew best.
Right.
Had a better example, but didn't know him.
Yes.
Right. So I was incredibly expert led. Like I'm very much a go-getter. So if you say do this, I'm doing it. And that's it. And so I did it, went through all that. And then two, that system is very money led. Everything is built around how much money you can make.
Right.
Yeah, you want to talk about like the value thing or whatever. Yeah. But I think about the intent of the heart. In that, yes, God wants us to make money and impact. Yes, he does. But is your heart for these people or for their wallets?
Yes.
That's the thing. And I had to check myself, like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can remember many a time I would do like consultations and God would say, no, not that person. And I would say yes.
Because that's money on the other side of that.
There you go. You go. And we'll regret it almost as soon as I process the card. Lord, have mercy. Just God, I try to tell you, hey, I ain't gonna lead you wrong. And so I was just like, oh, okay, God, I see it. And so this past summer, sitting at my desk, and it's like, since the Spirit of God saying, hey, come here, just let me holler at you right quick, right? So I got my, because I know that feeling. I got my notebook. I'm like, all right, God, go ahead.
I know you're about to speak. I'm ready.
And you about to say something that I probably don't want to hear. So I'm already ready.
I call it the Jesus mic drop moments.
Yes. I did all day. Wrote it down, and he gave me faith-fueled business, talking about leading with your faith and fueling your business with your faith, not with what other experts say, not by chasing money or anything else, innovation, whatever. What did the Spirit of God say for your business? Do that thing.
Yes.
Do that thing. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But who's doing that? Like, I don't know. I cannot readily think of anybody, God, that I know who's doing that. I know that you'll teach me, but you also give us examples. I need an example, God. And so I went on the search and I started stalking people, and you especially. So I started stalking Shay Bynes, right? I got this book by Felicia Slattery called Daily Business Meeting with God.
Yes.
And Shay, you wrote the foreword. And I was like, okay. Oh,
did you know the story that journal was birthed from her reading Grace Over Grind? And
yes.
It's an awesome story. It's a beautiful thing to collaboration.
She told me, your business tree is amazing. And so I'm like, okay, this is real sexy. Who is Shay Bynes? So I went on a mission to go everywhere that you were. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she is literally in these streets and has been for a long time talking about it. Thank you, God. So I was everywhere. I got all your devotionals on Bible app. I was everywhere. Okay, yes, book, everything. I was just like, this is it. I got it. And so I was so grateful for that because number one, it told me that, okay, I did hear from God correctly, because what I believe he shared with me was he wants to bring his influence into the marketplace, to bring it back to the marketplace.
Yes.
Right. And he needs us to do that.
I love it. We got to go back though. We got to go back. There's some gaps we need to fill in.
Okay.
We got to fill in.
Let's go back.
Because when he gave you faith-fueled business, because this is bringing me back to some memories I have from about 7 years ago.
Wow.
Where when God says kingdom-driven entrepreneur, and I'm like, I've never been one of those. What is that? And I've never been one of those. So what does that look like? And when you were saying that, it was reminding me, because you were just you were right on the heels of having just this righteous anger about the fact that, not only am I going to get caught up in deception because I've got these bones stuck, but there's a whole lot of other believers that are dealing with this too. And then he gives you faith-fueled business and you're like, okay, I haven't run one of those yet.
Exactly. Yes.
But yet you've given me this thing to do. Now, this was last summer, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is what I want to know. So last summer when he gave it to you and you said, okay, first I want to be able to see, is anyone talking about this? Is anyone doing this? What is going on? And that's how you ran into me and some others or whatever. Yes. But when you had to make the shift into the actual new work that you were doing as a new faith-fueled business owner, what was that journey like? Making that shift and making those transitions. Tell me about that time last summer.
So, in thinking about the grace over grind conversation, okay, so if you've not gotten Shay's book, press pause, go to Amazon right now. I don't care where you are. Pull over if you're driving. Go to the Amazon app on your phone and order it. So, because I'm talking grinding it out, that was your girl. But that's the system. You grind for so long that you just kind of coast. That's what they basically teach, So it's okay. So I'm very much a doer. I'll go. And so the very first morning I woke up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to meet with God about business. I'm going to meet with God about business. Okay, I'm going to meet with God about business. Okay, I don't know what to, this kind of I don't know what to say. And and it's still, even now, it's still a process. Understanding that this is God's vision. It's my mission, his vision. My role is to be obedient, not to make it happen. That has been actually using my faith to fuel my business, believing God to open doors, to grant, to do all the stuff. And me just operate in the level of grace that I'm in. Like that has been probably the most difficult part, is to let God handle stuff.
Let him be the God of the outcome. It's like you got, you're doing your part, you're doing, you're working, you're being diligent, you're putting your hands to things, but at the same time, releasing the need to be in control of all the outcomes, which is what leads you to manipulation and stress and all kinds of stuff, because you're trying to take God's role, I
can remember the first time that guilt started talking to me. Like, you just sitting around, what? You got stuff to do. I'm like, yeah, I do have stuff to do. And at the time, I was watching a movie like with my family, which I never did, because I was always here and they were always there,
Yes.
And of course, they've sacrificed so much and I appreciate them so much. But at that time, I was like, yeah, I do. Like, I'm literally like, I do. Oh my gosh, I need to go. And God's like, will you watch the movie? It's just like, hush, just that's
enjoy
not
this
my
time.
voice.
Yeah.
That's me, and I'm like, okay. And just that the struggle with the guilt and like behind spending time away from doing work, spending time resting. Like, who gets guilty about sleeping? You know what I mean? But that's where I was for a minute. Like, no, you sleep, like taking a nap in the middle of the day? You don't do that. You got stuff to do. It's like, no, you got stuff to do. Wait a minute. You're going to start the day spending an hour praying and writing stuff down. You ain't got time. You got to do stuff. And, in my natural mind, that it do have stuff to do. But if God doesn't create the to-do list, the right things won't get done anyway.
So you were able to make that shift. So when guilt was speaking,
yes.
how did you deal? How did you get beyond with the voices, your voice, the enemy's voice, and all this craziness that's going on? How did you get past that point to be able to just get into a space of rest in God and just allowing him to just work with you as you're planning and to just kind of work in a flow of his grace? How did you make that shift?
I think it was that. I think it was me understanding that it's not God working with me, it's me working with him. Like, he's the mastermind behind it. Like, because I would, in a million years shade, would I have ever done this? Ever. Like, never. And most of my clientele in my previous version of my business were believers, but at the same time, I had those who not loved it, had a chance to lead folks to Christ, and like all that. It's always been that way. So it was just a thing in my mind to say, I don't have to do it.
Right.
I just have to be obedient.
Yes.
And knowing that if I can be obedient in my marriage, in my like parental duties, like be obedient for everything else, surely I can just be obedient in my business.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like that switch. Like, it's not God with me, it's me with him. Okay, like, I can do that. Not, it is, every day it's still very deliberate, very intentional. Like, I ain't like skating in it yet.
Right.
But I'm much better than where I was.
That's so good. Now, have you experienced, when you made the shift and now you're like doing business in a different way, have you experienced just divine strategies, just ideas? It's like, oh, wow. Okay. Clearly that's from you, Lord, for you to walk out in your business. Tell me about it.
Oh my gosh. So I woke up one day and I just got this like divine idea. Spirit of God was just like, invite folk to your house for like a thing. And I'm like, to the house? This house? For real? Like, yeah. And I love live events anyway. So I'm like, okay. So I just put a post out there just in my group. Hey, I'm thinking about having a thing. I don't know what it's called yet, but at my house, build businesses. Anybody interested? All these folks said, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, that worked. Okay, what's next, God? Okay. Didn't think that would happen, but okay. Right. Then, like, long story short, 10 women were like, I'm coming. And then invested. Like they're flying in from places to my house.
Did you just say they were flying in?
Flying in to my house. And I'm like, God, this is not regular. Like, okay, but I'm gonna keep doing it because you keep telling me to do it. So I'm gonna keep doing it because it is working, God. Thank you.
Yes.
It's like just and it can be like some of and here's the thing that kind of makes it super fun is that the stuff that God gives me to do is usually contrary to what folk teach. Like like my old crew, quote unquote crew, teaches to do. Like and yeah. And it's like it's gotta be, just like this it's so much fun. It's faith. Because like you won't necessarily see the end result. Usually God's like, nah, you just keep walking it out. I would have never thought that just like doing that seemingly random post would garner all this interest, like, yeah. And then 10 people actually invest in it and then fly into 10.
Yes.
I got to clean up. Because they're coming. Like stuff like that. It's just like, just the out of the box type ideas that you would never think would work in the natural. God's like, all you got to do is execute. I already have their hearts turned toward you.
Yes.
That's the thing. You just show up.
Yes.
Oh, that was for somebody. I already got their hearts turned toward you.
That's right.
Just show up.
That's right.
Just show up.
That's so good. That's so good. Okay, so let me ask you this, because you were working directly with clients before. You're still working with clients now under a different name and with a different mindset and a different heart.
Definitely.
I want to know, what is the difference for you from your perspective, not from your client's perspective necessarily, but I'm talking about from your perspective and how you flow and how you work with clients. What kind of goodness have you seen from shifting your mind and heart and service to your clients from what you experienced before?
Oh, that is an excellent question. I can say that I sincerely have a heart, like a not a desire, but a heart, like, help me, Holy Spirit, how can I describe it? Like a sincere desire to see them win.
Yes.
Whereas before it was more just like about the content and the result. It's still about the content and the result, but who are they becoming?
Yes.
In the process of getting to this result through content.
Yes.
I really want to see you win.
Do you work one-on-one or mostly just groups? You do both. Okay. Both. Mm-hmm. So in your one-on-one interactions, what has it been like? I don't know. God often gives us insight that we wouldn't know other than the fact that he told us when we're interacting with people. Have you ever had experiences where God just like gave you, it was supernatural insight that helped a client?
All the time. I mean, God has given me words of wisdom for people, like go this direction, but it's always confirmation, just like all kinds of just awesome stuff, leading folks to the Lord, like just all kinds of awesome stuff.
Were you actually kind of operating with God in that way before you made your shift? Or did that come along with the shift?
That's why I said I feel kind of silly feeling like I'm starting over, because really I'm not.
This is what, so here was your shift. Okay, this is so good. This is so good. So some people have a shift where it was like they have to shift their mind, their heart. They have to invite the Lord in their business in every aspect. For you, you had invited him in so many aspects, except that you still took control over the growth of your business. Yes. And so it was like, so your grind was to see that business succeed financially, and you had a grip on that.
Yes.
But as far as how you flowed with your clients, it was just like, hey, me and the Lord, we working together on this thing.
That's it.
There's levels to this thing. There's levels to this thing. It's so good. I love this testimony where it's like in these aspects I was flowing, but in this I realized that there was an area.
There was just a grip, just
Yeah, that's so good.
Yes.
That's so good. So now you've shifted to allowing him to be the God of the outcome.
Yes.
So you're still doing the work. You're still doing the same work that you were doing before, but now it's like, now I'm resting in your presence. Now it's like, okay, now there's strategies for business growth, business building, and those aspects that now you've laid at his feet.
Yes. And so now the quandary is, okay, like I want it all to happen like last week.
You heard me talk about the power twins?
Yes.
Faith and patience, the power twins, and you inherit the promises of God.
Patience is a silent twin, a silent partner. I need for her to speak a little loud because
you got to have both. You don't want the faith without the patience, and you don't want the patience without the faith. But when you have them together, you've got them together.
To me. Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
I need
you walk this
direct word because yes, in my heart I know that, but my head is saying, but it might not be that bad. You know, it may be okay to have one after the other, as long as we get to where we need to go. Because but see, that's that grind trying to come up again in a different way. You know, like, okay, I want to have all the people now, do all the big stuff now. And God's like, no, you did the big stuff before. Now we're going this direction with the big stuff. And it's the same build. It's the same build, but let me build it.
Come on. Yes.
Because me building it before was not a blessing. It was not a blessing. No. Yes. You know, I had gone to Walmart the other day and I was sitting in the parking lot and I just started thinking about, I have two sons. One is 14 now and then one is 9, Gabriel and Michael. And I got really sad because I was like, man, you know, like in this grind thing, right? There's so much of my oldest Gabriel's life and stuff that I just feel like I just totally missed because I was sitting behind my laptop. And I just got like so super sad. I was almost in tears, like, you're like, I missed it, God. But then, of course, Spirit of God comes right in and he's like, no, it's all right. You know, just understand where you are right now. And embrace that time right now. So a couple of days ago was the NFL draft. I'm not studying the girl. I'm not studying about a draft. I don't even know them people. You know, but Gabriel wanted to watch the draft. And he asked me to watch it with him. And so I said, okay. And at first I went upstairs and I had my laptop. It's so sad. Okay, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to watch it. And after a while, I was just like, but what happened was my dog kept hopping up on the couch on my laptop. And I got a brand new one. Dog, if you tear up my laptop, we have a problem. So
the dog and the Lord were in cahoots.
Okay. I truly believe that. I just closed it and we watched the draft together. And like, it meant something to him because I said yes finally but to me it was like, okay, like first of all he wanted me to come watch it with him. That's the first thing. Just me, not my husband. I was like, yeah, see that? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, okay, I get the opportunity to enjoy this moment with my son. And so you know, even though if nothing else, like that thing, that experience, that makes you want to embrace the grace of God that he's given you, like to actually walk into that grace, ask him, how can you just walk into it more fully?
Yes.
Just to have moments like that. If nothing else, you know what I'm saying? Because after a while, he ain't going to be studying me. It's going to be girls and more football and whatever else, you know? Yes. So I appreciate my youngest son, Michael, very lovey-dovey, you know, he would come in, try to hug me, you know, okay, move. I'm saying, I'm working, you know, I'm working, you know what I'm saying? And so now he'll come in and I'll stop and I'll take the moment to hug him back, grab him back, you know, just that quick hug, but still that's meaningful for him. Yes. Like, okay, her work is not more important than me.
Yes. So good.
So grace. Y'all start right now, go to Amazon. Get the book. # get the book.
Oh my gosh. I'm loving this.
I'm so excited for the Kingdom. I gotta order mine.
Order what?
Entrepreneur's book. I gotta order it. The new
one.
The
Doing Business Guide.
Yes.
Now you got to get a copy of the Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur's Guide.
Yes. And the workbook. Thank you very much.
Yes. Get it and enjoy it. It's gonna be another stretch. It's gonna be another stretch. That's why I always recommend people start with grace over grind first.
Spoke too soon. Hold on. Wait a minute.
No, you need it. You need it because of what you're walking in. You are doing faith-fueled business. And I want people to get this too. Understand that it's a process. So just like years ago, almost 7 years ago now, that doing Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur at a time that I was like, Lord, what's a Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur? What are we doing?
Yes.
Never been that. What are we doing? For us to have to walk that out, and just develop while we're doing it. See, God does this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. See, I'm not talking to the expert of faith-fueled business, but I am, because that's what's on the inside of her. Yes. And so she's developing in it and she's moving and growing while helping, because no matter where you are in the process, there's people who are in need of where you're at right now. Yes. And then the further you go along, the more people that you're able to help based off of where you got to that point, right? Yes. And the more that God opens doors and the more you're able to serve, right? And so I love the fact that you are walking this thing out now. You are not shunning away from the shift that you needed to make in terms of focus and who you're serving. Not so much how you're serving. That was always the case, but how you are even growing in your business, because that part there is key to their development too. What you're experiencing now and those shifts you're making now in terms of really yielding your business to God and the way that you are and walking this out is all going to be a benefit to them as well, and how they approach it, right?
Amen.
So not only can you be kingdom driven, but you can provide kingdom driven support to other people.
Yes. Thank you, God. See there? See what a blessing you are?
This is good. Now we just got to get you with igniters.
Yes.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. This has been so good. I love it. Okay. Well, let me close with one question, then I'll have you share how people can get connected. My last question for you is, what would you say has been the most, since last summer, what would you say has been the most significant thing that you have learned about doing business God's way? Like, what is the biggest shift or the biggest thing you've learned about God, your ultimate CEO, since last summer?
One, possibly two things. Okay, so not so much that I didn't know it already, but kind of like moving from head to heart, like revelation.
Yes.
That God is like into business. Like he's totally into it. He's like, oh yeah, like I made this whole thing up. Like, so it's been me all the time. It's been my idea. You know what I'm saying? And understanding I was before Faith Fueled Business. I was speaking at an event in Atlanta. It's been a couple of years ago. And I was talking about money and impact and how there, like all the great inventions or whatever that are in the earth, like God wanted to give them to his people first. But we were like, like thinking that he wasn't into that it wasn't God. Because, God hates money and all other like faith-based limiting beliefs. You know what I mean? And I can remember standing there ministering and the Spirit of God just like showed me like, all that stuff, I gave it to my people first. And I didn't want to like fall out while I was speaking. But I was like, are you for real? Like we have been missing it as a body in so many other areas besides the most obvious. You know what I mean? Like, God's like, all this stuff, all this cool technology, innovation, I gave it to my family first, and they did not move for whatever reason. And so I have to get in the earth. So I get to those who gonna do something with it. You know what I mean? And just that thing, and then understanding that me, you, us, we are in the business of helping people to be that next person who will say, no, okay, God, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do it.
Be in position to receive the download and then have the bonus to walk it out.
Yes. Yes, girl, all day. Yes, that is the thing. That's the thing. So just knowing that God is into this whole thing. He's into technology. He's into innovation. He is the master coach. I mean, like, just Jesus is my life coach. Like he's the life
best
coach.
Ever.
Best ever, right? So just this understanding that he's into this. And because he's into it, he'll lead us the right way. He'll direct me, like knowing that, okay, he'll direct me. I had God on my side, of course, but I wasn't in a container that supported that. That's the thing. And so that's what like believers have to understand is that you need somebody of like precious faith to talk to. I don't care how much whoever make or whatever, you need somebody who knows the Lord to have your conversations with, period. Like
community is everything. It really is. Yeah.
Yes. Like you just, it can really make or break your sanity, how God moves in your life and like all that. Like it's so much riding on it. So much riding on it.
So good.
I answered the question.
Yeah, you did.
Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you answered. Yours.
Oh my God. I think I answered it. I'm not sure, but I will if I didn't. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. No, you're good, sis. Tell people how they get connected with what you're up to.
Absolutely. So faithfueledbusiness.com is like the gateway. That's like the everything. Fueled with an ED business.com. That's will get you to the Facebook group, everything. So
excellent. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining and sharing your story and your adventure with me.
Oh, what an adventure it has been and will continue to be.
It will continue to be just better and better from one level of glory to the next one.
Yes. What do the kids say? It gets gooder and gooder.
It just gets gooder and gooder. You're a delight. Thanks for joining me, sis.
Yes. Thank you for having me, Shay. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us on the Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur podcast. If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, we encourage you to subscribe and spread the word. And don't forget, you can gain access to even more resources, plus a thriving community of fire starters by visiting our website at kingdomdrivenentrepreneur.com.